So I recently got back into throwing knives, mostly learned how to do like a half spin and full spin, which I was never very good at. Still not great at it, but I can do it. So I needed some new throwing knives, so I made these instead of the specialized no spin ones like I had before. And honestly, they're fun to play with, so just leave it at that.
So I've always loved throwing knives since I was hanging out with my cousin one time as a kid, and he let my brother and I try out a set of throwing knives. I sucked at it, but it was a lot of fun, and I've loved them ever since. It was years before my dad ever let me get a pair, and I still sucked with it, even though I practiced all the time. It was only more recently, probably over a decade later, I'm actually finally somewhat decent with throwing knives, and I've just been throwing in my shop and waiting steel heat up. So I'm like, I should make like an actual set of just regular throwing knives. I've made no spin in the past a lot, and I mean, they're fun and they work pretty well, but I want some that are just like the balanced throwing knives. So just to add another layer, I've got this piece of a coil spring I got from a local mechanic, actually. I'm going to forge some from that, maybe a couple of extra, some scrap metal, because I'm going to lose them. I always lose them. Okay, so after a bit of work, I have 3 throwing knives made, all more or less the same shape. And, I've been playing with these like past couple of days while working on a few other things. So they're already like, you can get these to stick in a target pretty well, but I definitely want to shape them a lot better, put a better, more clean edge on them, and then get them like hardened up and tempered so that way they maybe last a little longer. So also want to try and balance these as best I can. They're not 100% balanced, but they're pretty close. Again, enough where I can throw them from across my garage with about 50% success. But again, I'm not a professional knife thrower. Either way, you can get these cleaned up real quick and almost have a set of throwing knives. Okay, so got these knives made. I forgot to film the finishing up of it, but I basically just heat treated them, then just wire wheeled them clean. Either way, they're, turned out pretty well, so I guess now it's time to go play with them. He says like he hasn't already spent the last several hours playing with them. They've held up pretty well.
Even though these were meant to just be regular throwing knives, they still work decent for no spin. You can also do full spin.